All right, let's take a look at your butterfly here. Now, the thing I'm noticing about your butterfly is that as you finish off your butterfly stroke, your arms are having a really hard time getting out of the water to do the over the water recovery. Now, the thing that you're going to want to focus on here is karate chopping your hands out of the water, pinky fingers first, so keeping your hands and palms nice and flat. Then as you finish your stroke, just allow those hands to slice out of the water right by your hips, and I'm going to tell you when that should happen as you're watching you swim here. So take that stroke and your hands should be right out of the water here. So right as you finish that arm pull, let go of the water, slice your hands out to the side and get those hands out of the water. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to keep your body closer to the surface of the water without having to worry about really wrenching those arms out to do that recovery. Because right now we got a first kick, a second kick, and then we got just a pause here where you arch your back and try to get your head out of the water. If you get your hands out of the water this way earlier in your stroke, your butterfly stroke is going to be a lot more natural and much more efficient. So really work on getting those hands out of the water at the end of your butterfly stroke. Okay, now taking a look at your backstroke here. So right away, the thing I'm noticing with your backstroke is that you have an irregular kick. And you can see that translate all the way from your feet to your hips, all the way up to your shoulders. And what you're going to want to do when you're practicing backstroke is make sure that you have a nice, solid, and consistent 6-beat kick going the entire time. So that's three kicks per arm pull. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to keep your hips higher and to stabilize them as you are rotating from side to side. Because you do need to rotate pretty far from side to side on your back when you are swimming backstroke, just because you don't have as much shoulder flexibility to bring your elbows behind your back as you do to bring them in front of your shoulders. Like for freestyle, you do need to rotate significantly more from side to side in order to get an efficient arm pull. So having a nice solid base to build your stroke on, and that is your kick, that's going to allow you to rotate a lot more effectively and keep your body balanced. Because right now you have an irregular kick because you're focusing on kind of wrenching your body from side to side to maintain that balance when you do rotate. So if we get a nice solid 6-beat kick going, that's going to stabilize your body and provide you a lot more forward power as you're swimming. Now taking a look at breaststroke. Remember, you can only take one dolphin kick when you're doing your breaststroke pullout, so we want to make sure that we're not putting in two. Now with your breaststroke arm pulls here, I'm noticing that you're taking your paws with your hands kind of underneath your chin. You're going to want to focus on bringing that pause out to when your strokes or when your hands are in front of your body. The reason for that is it allows you to glide when you're horizontal on top of the water, and that gives you less drag when you're doing your glide. Now when you have your hands underneath your chin or right down by your stomach there, your body is more vertical in the water and there's a lot of resistance, which means that it's going to be almost impossible for your body to do any gliding with your hands in that position. So we want to really transition from your arm pull to the arm recovery, sliding your arms forward and then gliding when you're stretched out on the surface of the water. The next thing I want to talk about for your breaststroke is your kick. You're really bringing your knees far apart. And I can tell that because at the end of your breaststroke kick, we got a little bit of a bounce there. And what that means is that your knees are locked out and straight before you finish your kick. So you're going to want to make sure that you keep your knees close together, no more than 10 to 12 inches apart, and then allow your ankles to rotate around the outside of your knees. That pushes the power development of your breaststroke kick from the inside of your legs muscles, which aren't very strong, to the muscles on top and bottom of your legs, which are significantly stronger and fatigue much slower. Now we're taking a look at your freestyle here. Now in freestyle, you're going to want to make sure that you take at least one stroke before you take that breath, because that first breath, if you're transitioning from gliding and kicking to using your arm pull, throwing a breath in there really throws on the brakes and makes it very difficult to get back up to speed, and that's not something that you want to do, especially in longer freestyle events. That's a lot of time that you're spent speeding back up when you could just take that stroke or take that breath a stroke later and maintain your speed a lot easier. So we're going to see this again in slow motion here. So watch your head compared to the lane line behind you, and there's that breath, and you really slow down. And you speed back up as you continue to swim here. And again with the freestyle, just like the backstroke like I was talking about, you've got like a 2-beat crossover kick, which means you take a kick, and then your ankles cross over. And what that's doing is it's making it very difficult for you to stabilize your hips as you are swimming. You notice that your hips are bouncing up and down as well as side to side. So you get a nice 6-beat kick going, and that's going to allow you to stabilize those hips and rotate from side to side without bouncing around, which is going to free you up to feel more balanced in the water and focus more on that arm pull. Because right now what you're doing is you're using your arms to rotate from side to side, just like you were doing on your backstroke, for not only propulsion but also balance. And you really want to shift that work to your feet and your kick and allow you to focus on developing a more efficient and powerful freestyle arm stroke.